Good afternoon, Fantasy Bay. Mike Williams here with another Week 6 game preview. And today we're going to be going over the Rams versus the 49ers. Let's get it started. The over-under is 50.5 points, and the Rams are 3-point favorites. That's the spread. This game's going to be 4:05 p.m. on Sunday. Let's start with the 49ers. Jimmy GQ has a good game. He scored 19 fantasy points, 181 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty okay game, not too bad. The run game is what actually took them to the next level. The receivers were 8 fantasy points from Marcus Goodwin. I think he's a flyer for the downfield. I think once the passing game gets going again, I believe that he may be a downfield threat. Same thing with Dante Pettis, but as of right now, they are bench or waiver wire. Same Deebo Samuel, keeping him on the waiver wire. The running backs is what we want to talk about in this game because Tevin Coleman came back, and he came back playing pretty decent and looked pretty good. 16 rush attempts for 97 yards and a touchdown. You like that? 15 fantasy points. That's what I'm talking about. I think he's going to be a good RB2 moving forward. Now, a lot of people have questions about Matt Breida now that Tevin Coleman's back, but I feel like he pretty much answered a lot of those questions. 27 fantasy points, 3 receptions off of his 3 targets, so he's sure-handed. He had 11 carries for 114 yards and a touchdown. Beast, played great, love it. I'm starting both of them. I think they're both running back 2s this week. The Rams are 9th against the running back. They allow 21.5 fantasy points, which I like that. I'm disappointed that Kyle Juszczyk is down because I believe they help that run game go. Having a fullback that leads the running back is very helpful. I believe they'll find other ways. They'll probably get George Kittle in there doing a little bit more blocking. I believe that the coach is smart enough to find a way to get his players the ball, and he finally has an offense that I believe runs his way. So I like both of these running backs. I'm disappointed that Kyle's down. Hopefully he comes back, and if he does, I think the running backs play even better. George Kittle's a beast. You're going to play him. He hasn't been having great games recently, but this was a nice breakout game. 20 fantasy points, 6 receptions, 8 targets, 70 yards and a touchdown. That's what you're looking for. That's what you drafted him for. He's great, playing him every week. The 49ers defense has actually been playing very, very well. I love the 49ers defense. I don't want to play them against the Rams, but I do think that they have a shot to do a good job against them. I just think that there's so many weapons on the Rams. I don't want to really mess with that, but I do think the 49ers have a good shot. That being said, I do think the Rams need to be picked up for their next week's matchup. I believe they're playing Miami? No, they're playing the Redskins, which are trash. So pick up the 49ers. It's a little side note for you long-term thinkers. All right, now let's go to the Rams. All right, Jared Goff, he had a pretty good game. 19 fantasy points, 395 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Passing yards have not been an issue for him this year. It's the sloppy play. They just haven't been playing as well as they normally do. That being said, I'm not trying to play him against the 49ers, who are the 3rd best against the quarterback, only allowing 11.3 fantasy points this year, which is crazy. Cooper Kupp is a must-play every week. He's averaging 25 fantasy points. I don't need to go too much into him, but I will a little bit. You know, he deserves a little bit of shout-out. He had 9 receptions off of 17 targets. My God. Averaging 13.25 targets a game. That's crazy. 13 targets a game. That's insane. He's averaging 114 yards a game in the last 4 games. That's crazy as hell, too. He had 117 yards and a touchdown. He's a beast. Start him every week. Brandon Cooks had a poor game due to the fact that he got knocked out for a concussion. I believe he should be back this week, and if he is, I'm starting him up. He's a speedster. You never know if he's going to get downfield. Robert Woods has been a little disappointing this year. He had 1 great game, 29 points, but other than that, 9, 8, 5. In the last 4, he's averaging 12.7 fantasy points a game. That's not doing it. Excuse me. He had 5 receptions for 9 targets for 48 yards. I'm not really feeling him right now. I was really liking him preseason. I thought he'd be a nice top 20 play. He hasn't been showing too much right now, but hopefully when the run game gets solid, the pass game will figure itself out. Todd Gurley is not playing this week, so I'm hoping you got Malcolm Brown. Todd Gurley had a good game last week, especially due to his 2 rushing touchdowns, but he's not going to be playing this week. I think Malcolm Brown fills in that role. I think he's a top 15 play this week, so if you have him or if he's somehow still on your waiver wire, which you shouldn't be, not as soon as, but the information dropped, I let everybody know to pick up Malcolm Brown. Hopefully you got him. I think he's a good play this week. Jarrett Everett. I love him. I picked him up in most leagues. Been talking about him for a couple weeks now. 20 points last week, 15 points a week before, 11 targets, 8 targets. If they involve him like that, I think he has a good chance to be a top 10, top 5 tight end this week. And you're obviously starting the kickers. I believe that is going to be it, Fantasy Bay. If you have any questions, hit me up. Check out the rest of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I do videos on all the game previews, and there'll be more sections moving forward. So I look forward to seeing all of you. Peace. Fantasy Bay, I'm out.